Welcome back to the news.
Out of the clear blue sky, two passenger planes, one after the other, crashed into New York's iconic Twin Towers, changing forever the Manhattan skyline in a matter of minutes. On the eve of the 11th anniversary of those horrific events, News First Shamir Rasuldeen filed this report from Ground Zero in New York City.
September 11th, 2001 is a date etched into the hearts and minds of the global population. Almost 3,000 people died on that day. Since then, much has changed, including wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that have combined to account for more American deaths than the terrorists inflicted on 9/11. This year, 9/11 will resonate simply because it is a Tuesday, as it was in 2001. Local and foreign tourists flocked in numbers at Ground Zero here in New York as the countdown for the 9/11 memorial began. "11 years after, some had left yellow roses for their loved ones at the footprints of the once majestic buildings. Ceremonies around America are no perfunctory moments of remembrance of an event that has faded in the popular imagination. Day-long events are designed to recall the horror and loss of that day, to play on the heartstrings of a nation that cannot forget. Around New York, there's a very obvious reminder of the way the country has changed. There was a huge presence of police near Ground Zero to what authorities say is a very real threat from Al-Qaeda. The US has not been attacked since 9/11, but the sense of possibility, of vulnerability, the overwhelming need for security has not gone away. But some things have changed. Today may have evoked memories of the righteous, patriotic fervor to deal with those who threaten the country, and that desire does still exist. But the enthusiasm to reshape the destiny of other countries to make Americans safer has largely disappeared.
This year marks 11 years since the 9/11 attacks here in the New York City. For the majority of the Americans, the events that unfolded 11 years ago are etched on their minds. However, for some, that's not the case. It's a fading memory. However, the 9/11 attacks did not change the lives of Americans alone. It changed the lives of many across the world. Shamir Rasuldeen, News First, New York, USA.
On to sports news now. Sri Lankan captain Mahel Jayawardene says that the windy conditions in Hambantota will pose a challenge to the Lankan team. The Lankan skipper expressed this view at a press conference on the T20 World Cup today.
We played quite a few matches in Hambantota in the past 3 months. It's true the windy conditions pose a challenge to us, but even our opposition will face the same challenge. So we must come up with a plan as to how we could use it to advantage. We have not played much cricket in Hambantota, but we know we have the home advantage with our crowd support.
ආරම්භක විත්කරුව හැටියට මෙවරත් අපි දකින්නවද මුලින්ම කොහොමද ඒ ගැන හිතලා තියෙන්නේ?
මං කිව්වා වගේ අපි තාම ඒ ගැන අවසාන තීරණයක් අරගෙන
We have not decided on that yet. We will look at the wicket and decide on our strategy.
ෘතු වෙන සංයුතියත් අනුව තමයි මේ තීරණය ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙන්නේ.
What's the fitness situation like in the squad? Is Sangakkara fit? How are the other players doing?
Yeah, Kumar's getting along well. I think he's been buzzing all our coaches day and night to get extra net sessions because he has lost a few in the last 2 weeks. Kumar is like that. His hand is coming on very nicely, so we are very happy about that.
Taking a look back at another local story. An operation is currently underway in search of the child who was dragged away by a crocodile in the Paraduwa East area in Akurasa. Our correspondent in the area stated that the search has become difficult as the water level in the Nilwala River has risen considerably.
12-year-old Selvam Roshan fell victim to a crocodile last evening while bathing in an unprotected area in the Nilwala River. Selvam is a student of the Pauramvilla Primary School. Our correspondent stated that Selvam Roshan was residing in a house belonging to the Paraduwa estate with his grandmother. The child who had come to bathe in the Nilwala River with another group had been dragged away by a crocodile. An operation was launched last night in search of the child by the members of the Galle Navy camp, officials of the Disaster Management Centre and area residents.
The single biggest political party in the country, the United National Party, suffered another electoral defeat at Saturday's provincial council poll.
Except for 2 elections, the United National Party has lost all other elections since 1994 under its present leader. At Saturday's provincial council poll, the party could not even win the number of seats it won in 2008. However, the party has managed to increase its vote base in the Polonnaruwa district in the North Central province. The party's candidates who secured victory in the district point out that the reason for this is the awakening of the grassroots level party supporter. It was Sajid Premadasa who directly contributed towards increasing the number of votes in the Polonnaruwa district by around 20,000. We should speak the honest truth. I thank Sajid Premadasa and the people of Polonnaruwa who committed themselves towards this victory. It is also significant that 3 of the 4 seats the UNP won in the Eastern Provincial Council were from the Ampara district. Chandradasa Galapati, who emerged victorious in Ampara, pointed out that the reason for this success was the grassroots level campaign carried out by the party in the district. Once the nominations were handed over, a sense of lethargy set in. It was the party's deputy leader Sajid Premadasa that rallied the party's supporters in the Ampara district by participating in a number of election meetings. These meetings attracted huge crowds. As a result of this rejuvenation, even the voters who were in 2 minds to vote at the election came in their numbers and voted with much enthusiasm. There is another factor which I couldn't mention. Therefore, I request special attention to be drawn towards this as well. Because Sajid Premadasa came here, there was an interest among the UNPers to make the party win this poll. I think in the Ampara district, Dayagamage received the highest number of preferential votes. I think Sajid Premadasa's campaigning played a big role in increasing the party's votes. Former UNP Minister M.D. Premaratna says that in the face of the continuous defeat suffered by the United National Party, the presentation of a service recognition award to the party leader at the UNP's 66th anniversary celebrations is hilarious. They have held this presentation ceremony and presented awards to themselves. Ranil Wickramasinghe was also presented an award. The award was presented by Jaya Wickrama Pereira. They are scratching each other's backs. This is a public opinion. After presiding over the decline of the party's vote base from 4.7 million to 2 million and losing close to 19 elections, I do not know if any of his aspirations can be met under his leadership. I believe that this award was one which was given to him by the government. I believe and accept that the government got Gamini Jaya Wickrama Pereira to present this award to Ranil Wickramasinghe for the 19 election defeats.
මේ සම්මානය ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම මම හිතන්නේ ආණ්ඩුව විසින් රයින් ලිට්ටුපසිංහ මහත්මයාට දුන්න සම්මානයක් කියලා මම නම් හිතන්නේ මම පිළිගන්නවා.